same time as KS and talk smack about him? Okay.
You know what? Let's go all the way.
Yeah.
Talk about Kevin too.
Okay. Number one, we don't have any problem with Kevin. But he did ask us to push our show back, which we did on several occasions.
Yeah, for 2 hours.
For 2 hours.
Guys, you gotta understand something, right? To get the girls in here all ready for the show, Chris has to do a lot of work.
Yep.
It takes.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book 91. We are talking to you guys about the Fresh and Fit beef with Kevin Samuels. They had a 4-hour live yesterday, or last night even for them, addressing all the allegations that were launched against them from Manosphere, from general commentators, etc., etc. I just kind of silently watched it for a little while, waiting for it to unfold, and we got to this point where now Fresh and Fit have addressed all the allegations. Good, bad, whatever you want to call it. But I wanted to speak specifically about the Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit beef because I think it's quite interesting, right? Men ain't no different to women. When as much as they are collaborative, they are, and we are. I think that's something that we men, we know how to submit to one another. But it's interesting when money comes and gets involved, when fame, when status, when power gets involved. Change their ethos and their mindsets and see people no longer as collaborative efforts, but see them as competition, right? So it's so interesting. So we'll talk a bit more about that on this particular aspect of video. But I want you guys to like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. For those of you who are returnees, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. Listen, don't forget as well, stay hydrated because the streets out there are hot. Grab your water bottle down below. Grab your hoodie as well. Join the mineral gang, you understand? Don't be left without the hoodie, you understand? It's getting cold as well this winter. It's gonna be lonely. Okay, let me stop that. All right, listen, before we get the conversation flowing, let's get the intro going, baby. Little Black Book, you know what time it is. So yes, we've got we've got obviously Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit. If you don't know, Fresh and Fit are part of the Manosphere Red Pill community. They talk a lot about building up men, men doing better. I would say men doing better, yeah, upscaling themselves, upgrading themselves, etc. Similar to Kevin Samuels' conversation and Red Pill community stuff. But they do it in a certain way, similar to Kevin Samuels sometimes, where they expose real conversations between men and women. I wouldn't say they're as degrading in that sense as Kevin Samuels. I wouldn't go as far as that. I think they have a different style of going about things. They actually have conversation with women in front of them. And I think they normally catch women out in these lies that sometimes they say, which I can rock with, right? I don't always agree with their stuff, but I can rock with that because I see that there's a genuineness to have that conversation with the person in front of them, not cutting them off, whatever. But so I can rock with their content. But in this particular case, they've been loaded with allegations. If you haven't seen it, go and watch their 4-hour video. I'm not about to bring everything they've put, but there's been a lot of allegations that have been laid in against them: sexual assault, cheating people for money, ripping off content. There's been so much. Him being a fed, which he really is a fed. I don't really care, to be honest, at the end of the day, and all that kind of stuff. But specifically, this particular video, what we're talking about is the Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit situation. Now, I believe Kevin Samuels came on their show some time back. There was some rumblings underneath the surface that happened. O'Shea, I think O'Shea as well, is it O'Shea Duke Johnson or Jackson? Sorry. Also was made a video recently. I watched that video as well, where he commented on Fresh and Fit, saying that, there were so many rumblings underneath the surface. I always say this: if this amount of smoke means there is some type of fire at least. But when you're good and you can cover your bases, especially if you've been a fed before, you ain't going to be caught out easily, right? So you can rationalize and explain everything. And I'm not saying that there weren't moving pieces, that they definitely were true. For instance, when they explained the Anna situation, when watch that, go watch it, where the girl said obviously that he wanted her to have sex before he came on the platform. There was a previous conversation before that, so I can rock with that, right? And he has the receipts to show it. So I can't argue with that, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Miss Cheeks, who came on and said about how she was pregnant, we're not really sure, but okay, cool. But then wanted not to clear his name because she wanted to have some type of power over him so that she could make him feel something or not be used the way she was used. Like, sis, you can't be doing that. Okay, you tell the truth because it is the truth, right? And it can be affecting other women. It didn't sound like that's what you really were trying to do. And so, and then we obviously have this Kevin Samuel situation, which I'll play a little bit more of the clip so you guys can see it. Let's play a little bit more.
This is back when Allende was recruiting too.
It takes time to get girls in here at the same time to do a show. So we're preparing while having a time for the show, but sometimes it gets pushed back because either someone's late, things are running a little bit behind schedule, the sound, audio, all for a live show, it takes time. So for us to have a time set, and then Kevin says, hey man, you know what? I would like for you guys to start a little bit later because I'm starting this time. You know what, Kevin? We respect you. We're going to push our show back 2 hours for this thing here. Go. Yo.
And you see, already the request is mad, right? If you come to me as a YouTuber, I'm a YouTuber, you're a YouTuber, right? We have to remember, first and foremost, we're a business. We're working full time. This is my income. This is my finances. This is what I do. The income I get from this. So you're asking a business not to open for 2 hours delayed so that you can have your competitive advantage. Now, as a collaborative effort, this can work, but it has to work both ways. In the sense of the fact that if I ask the same request, will you also grant it? Will there be open communication for this? Right? Because what it will look like is you're actually strong arming me, trying to get me to give in so that you can have more competitive advantage. But we don't even have, you have to understand, there is so much audience and so much target audience to go around that you don't need to do this. But again, when men get into positions of power, status, and have finances, this stuff starts to show. You start to see people's real true colors when they get power and what they want to do with it. Now, I think it was let me keep it honest. Let's say it was an honest request from Kevin Samuels. What we're about to hear next will determine whether it was an honest example or whether it was really just about you trying to nuke your competitors.
Imagine girls waiting here for 2 hours for a show to start.
I have to babysit them the whole time, drinks, talk to them. Most of the girls have to work tomorrow morning, have stuff to go to. So, hey, Chris, when the show's beginning, blah, blah, blah. And I have to play that role where it's like, look, girls, I'm sorry, but this has happened, boom, boom, boom. Me and Myra explained it to you many times. Today, I understand. And some girls left. Like, we had 2 girls leave at one point. So it's like, we have to entertain a whole house full of women. And meanwhile, I was like, for who? It's our platform.
So we pushed back the show for Kevin.
Multiple times.
And then you guys have to wait. The girls gotta wait. We gotta wait. And then
you say, oh, guys, why you late? Oh, never on time, blah, blah, blah. Well,
so behind the scenes, guys, you don't see everything. So Kevin is definitely trying to tell us when to do our show. And respectfully, you were here first. However, hey, Kevin, we need time to figure this out because obviously, we want to go with the girls. We got to schedule them. It takes time. No response. It's only when he wants something, he responds to us. But when we say, hey, Kevin, can we work this out where we could do a time and show? No response. So what do we have to do? We're forced to do a show whenever we want, because now you don't want to compromise our response to us.
So that's where the beef comes in, right? So now the strong arming doesn't work, but obviously that Fresh and Fit have realized you're not going to play ball the same way. You're going to choose whenever you want to respond. It gets political, and it's like, why? First, like I said, the audience is huge enough without having to try and trying to collate as much as you want. And this is what I'm saying about that. Someone like Kevin Samuels, I haven't got beef with him. I just don't like some of the ways that he does certain things. But again, this kind of proves my kind of thing about him, that the power, the hunger for power that drives a man to do ill things, right? And behave inappropriately. The drive for power here now wanted to quash another competitor, which, listen, whether you agree with their stuff or not, don't make no difference. We're talking about this particular issue. When someone else has got their show going, it didn't go both ways. It went one way, which shows a manipulative streak. You wanted to force them into a corner, let them be in a space where they can do a show at your leisure, at your competitive advantage, and hopefully they will stay down there because you're the grandfather and these guys are new to the scene. But the trouble is that YouTube is such a platform where 1 minute you could be up, and next minute before you know it, someone's come up so quickly behind you didn't realize where they came from. They now have the pulling power and the audience behind them. Right? So yeah, and this is kind of the same argument that happens in music, the grime scene. Do we pay respects to those elders before us? I think you can pay respect to elders before you, absolutely. But you're not going to now tell us how and when and where to do it. You can advise, but you can't tell them how and where and when to do it. When you do that, you're beginning to manipulate and beginning to encroach on boundaries. And when men do this, that ends in fights. When men do this, this ends in war. Telling another man how to go about his business ends in war. It's a boundary.
How can we work this out?
Yeah, he stopped responding to us. We tried to work with him, guys.
We tried, man.
We really did try to work with him.
And look,
we made a lot of concessions for him. We took down our clips for him.
Yep.
When he did the debate with Amanda and he debated the other girl, we took the clips down so that he can have exclusive rights to those clips for his channel. We took those down. We moved our show back. And he would never respond to our calls or never respond to our texts. He said he was going to come to Miami in May. You guys are all my witness.
Yep.
He said he was going to come. He never came. When we called him, he was ignoring us. We finally were able to get him on a call. Hey, Kevin, when are we going to...
Well, what's interesting about this also is that I remember this now, where he went on the show and they had a debate with that woman, wasn't it? And if you heard him very correctly, he said he wanted to have exclusive rights to that clip. And so he wanted them to take it down. There's no collaborative effort from Kevin Samuels because it's about winning. And this is when when you are consumed by self. This is what I'm seeing, by the way. I'm only commenting on what I'm seeing, I'm hearing, right? I could be absolutely wrong. I want to leave that open as well. I want to leave this open saying I could be absolutely wrong. I'm going by what I'm hearing. What I'm starting to see with Kevin Samuels is what we've seen always at the beginning. You see, the thing about life is this, right? That when you feel disadvantaged and without power and control, you look for it, you look to exercise it elsewhere. So when you don't have power and control in your life in certain circumstances, you may see it fit to control and have power over people. Now, what's the easiest thing? Oh, okay, I want to say easiest thing, but what's one of the ways that men tend to typically take out their issues of control and power on? Women. That's why his shows have switched now to black women, and how he talks to them is detrimental, it's derogative and degenerative, right? It doesn't promote healthy dialogue, right? So even if you're telling the truth without love, it's a banging symbol. I've said this all the time. But it's an act of power to tell women in the way that you tell them what you tell them. It's an act of power when you cut people off your show because you weren't able to tell them, oh, not on this platform. It's an act of power when now you had a debate with a woman on another person's show, which they invited you to, which you then wanted to have the clips exclusively to your show, all right, that they now take it down for you. These are all acts of power, and these are all acts of somebody who's trying to have control over their life, right, by controlling others. And that speaks to something that's within yourself that you're not comfortable with. Let's go a bit further.
Going to do this collab? People are asking, it's going to be lit. Let's make it happen. He never gave us a straight answer, and he started ignoring our calls, ignoring the text. So what can we do? At this point, he's ignoring us. So I'm looking at it like, well, if you're going to ignore us and not respond to us, then we're just going to go back to doing what we were doing because we made all these concessions for you, but you can't even respond to us. So we're just going to do what we do. And here's the thing. I have no problem with Kevin. We have no personal issue with Kevin, but those are the facts.
Yep.
We tried to work with him. We didn't purposely put the show at 10 to battle him. We pushed our show back on multiple occasions for him. And you guys are my witness for that. And then when we called him and said, hey, are you going to come on May? He didn't answer the question. He avoided us. He didn't answer anything. The only time he will call me, guys, is when he wanted me to take down the clips or he needed something from me. He never called me for anything else. And that's the goddamn truth. And it hurts me to even say this on the air. But that's what it is.
And I want to say this now.
So, I keep coughing, man. You see very quickly how life does this. You know what I mean? Some people are starting to show their true colors. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I actually kind of like Fresh and Fit. It's not everything I agree with them with, but I kind of like them, right? And so I think what we're seeing with Kevin is, like I said, when you get too consumed with self, power, hunger, this potentially could be the line of action that you begin to take, because it's not about anybody else but you. It's about you winning at the expense of others. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't help others. Don't worry, he's got his team. I'm sure Kevin's got his team. But when someone else was outside of that team, look how quickly it became to curve them. I'm just stating what I'm seeing. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a last bit of this. Let's watch.
Many other creators feel the same way. And real talk, man, I'm be honest here. We wish Kevin the best, 100%. But if you don't respond, how can we work things out? So that's how it is.
That's
man.
simply what it is, guys.
All right.
We tried. He didn't respond. Okay, we're gonna go back to 10 o'clock. That tells me basically like, fuck you guys.
Yep, literally.
So
it is what it is. And look, men are competitive by nature, most men, and they will do what they need to do. And sometimes we have what we call game theory, which is we think someone else has to lose for us to win. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. You guys know, look, my channel here, I ask people to come on, and when they do, they got their YouTube. I said, listen, let's big you up. Let's big you up. Even if you go past me, let's big you up. I don't know what door you can open for me in future, you know. I don't know what door you can open for me in future. The amount of doors that have been opened to me, especially with women, black women, have opened to me in doing hosting, weddings, stuff like that. It's mostly women that open doors for me. But you don't know what someone could do for you, you know, if you big them up, allow them to have your platform, allow them to grow, help them to maneuver. You don't know what doors can open for you. So why am I trying to make you a competitor? That makes no sense. Why would I make you a competitor? There's so much of the people to go around. You're not a competitor. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, Fresh and Fit kind of see it like competition as well, partly anyway. So I can't really carp too much on Kevin Samuels for that. But I don't know. I'm just starting to, like I said, we've been talking about Kevin Samuels for the last few years now, about the nature and some of the actions that he shows. This is another one of those things. But guys, let us know your thoughts down below. What do you think? The Fresh and Fit situation with Kevin Samuels and them. Let us know what you think of the whole situation in the comment section. And we'll see you guys soon. Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded, baby.
Little black, you know what time it is.